Hello, my name is Dan Skip Allen, and I am your host for this special reaction show from the Profiles After Show crew. We are going to talk about our shocking responses and snubs and all the good stuff that happened this morning live from California about the Oscars. And I got with me Liam LeGrande, Steve Zissou, otherwise known as Justin Vass, and Cahal Thomas Coleman. We got a couple Australians who are up late night in Australia, but they wanted to get their 2 cents in here about the Oscar noms. So here we go. We're going to talk the first category. The big category that I want to talk about first is Best Picture. We ended up with 8 nominees. All right, guys, I'm going to start with Liam, then Steve, then Cahal, and I'm not doing this in any specific order on purpose. It's just how it shows up on my screen here. So, anybody, obviously, we got Boyhood, Birdman, Whiplash, Theory of Everything. What else we got? Selma. We got Selma. I'm looking at the list right now, guys, so just give me a sec here. Who's got the list in front of them? Anybody else got the list?
American Sniper, Birdman, Boyhood, The Grand Budapest Hotel, The Imitation Game, Selma, The Theory of Everything, and Whiplash are your Best Picture nominations.
Okay, all right, I just pulled up the list myself. I just took a couple seconds to come up. All right, so of these, I mean, I agree with every one of these Best Picture nominees. I just think that a couple. I think it should have been 10. My opinion is, I believe it should have been 10. I think this is the year that it should have been 10, and I think Foxcatcher and Interstellar definitely got snubbed, in my opinion. So, like I said, we're going to start with Liam, then we're going to go with Steve, then we're going to go Cahal. I want to know your opinions on the list and who you think, what movie got snubbed out of this Best Picture race.
Well, I'll go now. So, I'm pretty surprised American Sniper got nominated because I've been hearing a lot of mixed things about it, and a lot more stuff's been building up around the campaign and stuff. I'm seeing it tomorrow because Australian release date's pretty weird, so I'm trying to check it out tomorrow. But I've heard a lot of good things. I mean, Clint Eastwood, he's been around for a long time. It's good he's at least doing something like his best movie apparently since like $1 Million Baby, so that's good. Selma, yeah, that's good. As Birdman, boy, I don't really have enough Grand Budapest. It's good Wes Anderson finally gets some reconciliation, like finally gets some notice from the Oscars because he's always been nominated for screenplays and stuff. I've never been vocal. It's probably my least favorite Wes Anderson movie, but it's still great to see Wes Anderson getting nominated for an Oscar. If I could take out one, I'd probably take out The Theory of Everything. Granted, I saw it on my computer, because it's not out in Australia for a bit. I thought it was okay for what I saw. It was the experience I saw it in. It didn't blow me away. I don't think it deserved to be in the Best Picture category. Like, put something like Nightcrawler or Gone Girl, even Wild, something like that, be a better pick in my opinion, just to put in there. And also pretty surprising is Whiplash, because that movie hasn't been getting really a lot of a lot of attention from other awards apart from J.K. Simmons. So it's great to see that it got nominated for Best Picture because it deserves it. It's definitely like one of the best movies of last year. So I'm pretty happy with the Best Picture nominations overall. I agree with you, Dan, that it should be 10. I don't see the point. Like the Golden Derby predictions, they gave you 10 slots. I don't really see what's the point, just to be honest. Just having 8.
I agree with this list. Really, nothing surprises me on it. I'm a little surprised the Grand Budapest Hotel made it. I don't think it'll win. I'm happy it did make it. Like Liam said, he's never been nominated for Best Picture. And also, the movie's been out for over a year, so it's nice to see some non-award bait films get put on this list. To touch on Liam's point, I've seen a couple of comments on Facebook this morning. People surprised about American Sniper. That one doesn't surprise me one bit. I'm going to watch it tonight, actually. But from the second I ever heard about this film, the first thing I heard was Oscar-nominated Bradley Cooper. Oscar-nominated. I mean, the award-paid movie that Grand Budapest is not. I haven't seen Theory of Everything, and I've seen every other film. I think our best chances here are Boyhood, and I'm gonna say Whiplash and The Imitation Game are the three favorites I see out of this list.
Me now? Yeah. I agree with pretty much the whole list, but I think they could have pushed to put Nightcrawler in there somewhere. I mean, I think that's worthy enough. What else is there? I think American Sniper and like Selma are probably latest to the party anyway. They were gathering a little bit of heat near the end, and I think Grand Budapest Hotel is it's done well considering it's won the Golden Globe, but we don't really take that for a lot of credibility. But yeah, that's doing well. But I think it's coming. I'm glad Whiplash got in there. That was my pick. I had a feeling it would because the BAFTA's nominated for Best Director, but it missed out on a Best Picture nom. With up to 10 nominations, anything could happen here, so I kind of expected it. I'm happy with most of the other films. I think it will come down to Birdman and Boyhood again, though. Seems to be the way it's going.
On your Nightcrawler point, it seems like they stayed away from satire because rewatching Gone Girl since it's come out on video, I realized so much more the second time watching it how satire that film is. Even though I enjoyed it and think it's a great film, I think that might be what turned them off from Nightcrawler. Even though it's in my top 10 of the year, I agree it's a great film.
Steve, just real quick, you're breaking up a little bit. If you could you just kind of get a little bit closer to your device that you're talking into?
Can you hear me better?
Not really.
Dan was happy.
I'm right there with you, Steve, about Nightcrawler. I thought Nightcrawler would have got a Best Picture nod as well as Foxcatcher. I think those are the two, in my opinion, that would have or should have gotten the other two slots in a Best Picture nom, and that would have been the 10. I think I would have been happy with those 10, in my opinion. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to Best Actor. In a slam-packed category, I've talked about this. I'm going to use this time to rant a little bit about this. I think the Oscars should take one category a year, and I think they should expand it. If there's this category like, for instance, this year, Best Actor, you could easily have had 10 nominees for Best Actor. That's how stacked the Best Actor category is. And when I look at the Best Actor nominees, you got Michael Keaton, Eddie Redmayne, Benedict Cumberbatch, Bradley Cooper, Steve Carell. I think there's two obvious snubs in here, in my opinion, and I would have definitely had David Oyelowo in Selma and Jake Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler. I think clearly, other than Keaton, Redmayne, and Cumberbatch, those are the other two greatest performances of the year, and I'm really kind of sad about that. I mean, Bradley Cooper was fantastic, and Steve Carell were fantastic in Foxcatcher and American Sniper, but I think the two better performances, in my opinion, were David Oyelowo and Jake Gyllenhaal in Nightcrawler. So we're going to go back to Liam, and we're going to hear what Liam has to say about this.
Yeah, I think overall it's a solid list. I mean, it's pretty surprising David Oyelowo didn't get nominated for Selma, because it's kind of an Oscar bait movie. Martin Luther King biopic. You expect that thing to get on him. He was great in it. He was my second pick for Best Actor. I was shocked that he didn't get nominated. Me personally. If I were to swap anything out, I'd probably take Eddie Redmayne out and put Jake Gyllenhaal. I thought he was better than Eddie. Out of those bunch, I think the best were Michael Keaton and Benedict Cumberbatch. Of the ones I've seen, I haven't seen American Sniper or Foxcatcher yet, but I think Michael Keaton deserves Best Actor out of anyone there, because he's been around for so long, since Batman and stuff, and his career hasn't always been the best. So this would really be a great way to pay homage to just his great career, because he's a good actor. So I'll just say that what it is.
Um, I guess I'll be the oddball out. Can everybody hear me before I start?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I really don't think he deserved the nomination for Martin Luther King. Not that I don't think he did a great job, but I wasn't as invested and sucked into that role as I thought I should have been. I think the subject matter and the topic maybe got him a lot more hype than he deserved. I think he's an actor to watch out for, and I think he's going to do amazing things. But I wasn't watching that film and seeing Martin Luther King on the screen, so that doesn't really bother me. The only film I haven't seen is Foxcatcher, but just from seeing the previews and behind the scenes of Steve Carell and seeing real life interviews with John DePont, that's pretty amazing, and I'm pretty psyched about seeing that. So it would surprise me if he walked away with it. Out of the films I have seen, which are Birdman and Imitation Game, I think Benedict Cumberbatch is my favorite. Obviously, Liam made some valid points, but I don't think they're going to give a lifetime award to Michael Keaton. I think these guys are up for these films they're in now. That's really all I have to say about this, guys.
I think you should take out Steve Carell because it was more of a supporting actor performance. And the British Academy Awards nominated him in supporting actor alongside Mark Ruffalo in the supporting category. So I don't think he deserved a leading nomination. I think it's going to come down to Michael Keaton versus Eddie Redmayne. Like really, realistically, it's them two. I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch is probably the outside shot. I can't see Steve Carell or Bradley Cooper winning it, but the Academy have got a real love for Bradley Cooper lately, haven't they? I mean, I wouldn't have nominated him last year for American Hustle, but I loved him in Silver Linings Playbook. I mean, that was my favorite film of 2012. But
3 years in a row.
Yeah, I don't know if it's... What's that?
3 years in a row he's been nominated for Best Actor.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I didn't think. Oh, I thought American Hustle was overrated last year. I can't believe the love for that movie. I only really liked Amy Adams in that movie, and that was about it.
Same here.
It was like Scorsese by numbers,
Yeah.
It was a straight Scorsese feel.
I'm right there with you, Carl. I think it's going to be a two-man race of Michael Keaton for Birdman and Eddie Redmayne for Theory of Everything. And I'll tell you what, right now, I mean, Michael Keaton has been getting all the love, but you know who's catching up? Like, it seems like every day he's doing a lot of press. Obviously he did.
Bradley Cooper. Sorry.
He did Michael and Kelly this morning. It's an American talk show here in America. Eddie Redmayne is catching up, and he is catching up fast to Michael Keaton, and he could pull the upset, even though it's not really an upset, because they love giving awards to people that do crazy things like ugly themselves down, play these oddball characters that have disabilities. Look at Daniel Day-Lewis for My Left Foot, or Capote. Philip Seymour Hoffman kind of had a weird accent in that, and Jamie Foxx played kind of a goofy kind of singer guy in Ray, but. Yeah, Eddie Redmayne is closing that gap, and who knows, by February 22nd, he could have closed the gap all the way. And it'd be sad because I kind of am rooting for Michael Keaton, too, like a lot of people are. All right, but now we're going to move on to Best Actress, and Best Actress is kind of I don't think Best Actress should have, I think Best Actress is exactly the way it should have been. I cannot find one thing wrong with Best Actress unless you say Jennifer Aniston for Cake, but I don't think anybody saw Cake. I have it on digital download, and I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to watch it in the next couple days. But these nominees: Marion Cotillard, 2 Days, One Night; Felicity Jones, Theory of Everything; Julianne Moore, Still Alice, Rosalind Pike, Gone Girl, and Reese Witherspoon, Spoon for Wild. I mean, you can't really argue in a weak, very weak Best Actress field, in my opinion. I think this is they hit a home run. These are the 5 that deserve the nomination. So, what do you think, Liam?
I've seen these movies, you know, Dan. Like, can normal people, we can't even watch Still Alice right now.
No, you're right. It comes out limited release this Friday, and then it's going to start opening. But by Oscar time, by February 22nd, Still Alice will have been out there for everybody to see. I have it on digital download. I'm going to watch it this weekend. But I understand your point, Steve. But 2 days, one night comes out this week in limited release, and so does Still Alice. But by Oscar time, you'll be able to see them. Everybody can see them if they want to see them.
I need to get with you on these digital downloads.
Huh?
I need to get with you on these digital downloads.
Well, I have a friend who helps me out sometimes. Okay. So, Liam, what are your thoughts on the Best Actress race?
Well, I liked all of them except Felicity Jones. Take Felicity Jones out of there, and I think it's pretty good. I mean, I know I'm in the... Oh, man, I got to think about that. I'll think about why I'm coming. Like, I just thought she was alright. I thought the chemistry between her and Stephen Hawking wasn't that good. I thought it was pretty boring, to be honest. I know it was a disabled person, but even at, like, the start, like, when he wasn't even disabled, I just thought it was like, wow, these two are actually married. They got married. This is pretty insulting, considering this is, like, a pretty serious story. I couldn't really get... I know I've got an unpopular opinion here, and it was probably because I just watched it on my computer, so I didn't have the experience that I should have watched it in. But yeah, I didn't think she was that great in it. I probably wouldn't put her in there. Julianne Moore, she's a great actress. It's great to finally see she's going to win an Oscar at last for, like, her role. I still haven't seen Still Alice. It comes out next week in Australia. I'm trying to get an early screening for it this weekend, so I'll definitely be happy to see if she's good in that. Rosamund Pike and Gone Girl. I know the Academy isn't that big fan of Fincher, but it's good to see at least he does really good female leads like Rooney Mara and Girl with Dragon Tattoo, stuff like that. So it's good she was nominated. Reese Witherspoon, Wild, yeah, that was the type of movie you think she'd get nominated for. Like I said, seeing it tomorrow with American Sniper, so I have to wait then. And Marion Cotillard is a great actress. I knew from the start she was going to get nominated for Best Actress. I put it in my Golden Derby predictions. I know, because no one was talking about her performance in that movie. Do you think I've heard one person talk about it?
Well, I have I have a screening next week for 2 days, one night, so I'm definitely looking forward to the Marion Cotillard performance, Liam.
She's a great actress as well, man. Like, it's great to see that, like, no one else is giving her credit, like Globes or BAFTA. Like, the Academy's going to give her, because they always like foreign actors, like Roberto Benigni for, like, Life Was Beautiful, stuff like that. So I thought it was great. If I'd picked to win, it'd probably be Julianne Moore, because she's the one getting all the attention. But maybe Marion Cotillard. Maybe like a surprise, because she won an Oscar for that. I can't remember the name of the movie off the top of my head, but
B and Rose.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. It doesn't really happen once in a while. Foreign actors or actresses win.
Nope.
It usually happens at the Academy though.
Yeah.
Like, if they're in one place happens at the Academy, they respect foreign films quite a lot. So I'm happy for that. So overall, yeah, I'm pretty. Just take Felicity Jones out. I don't know who to replace it with. I'll think about it. I'll just come back to you if I think about it. But yeah, I liked it overall. Thought it was pretty good.
Before Steve goes, Liam, have you seen Belle, B-E-L-L-E yet?
It played in theaters like last year in February. I didn't see it though.
I tell you what, I was thinking about it. That would be my. If you're gonna knock somebody out and put somebody in, I think Gugu Mbatha-Raw deserved to be in there. She was phenomenal in that movie. Okay, Steve, what do you think about this?
I'm not surprised. Julianne Moore is kind of the same thing with American Sniper. I've been hearing Best Actress ever since before I even knew what the world Still Alice was. I'm sitting here trying to find this movie on DVD because I feel like it's been out forever because everybody's been talking about Julianne Moore winning Best Actress, and to my knowledge, she's never won. Am I correct?
No, she has never won. And
she hasn't won.
Not even supporting actress, right?
No.
She was nominated for Boogie Nights, I'm pretty sure.
Wasn't it the end of the affair or something like that?
One at a time, guys.
I don't have a problem with that. She's a phenomenal actress. If she wins, I'll be more than happy with her. Rosamund Pike, she played that so well. The satire. She played two roles there. She played Amazing Amy and Psycho Amy, and she did both really great. There's two layers to that film. You know, there's the satire soap opera layer to it, and then the realistic gritty layer to it. And she did such a great job on both. And I think she's the main reason that movie worked as well as it did. I feel like out of all these movies, it's the one that everybody's seen and obviously had the most financial success. So I don't know how much politics are going to go into this. And I'm ashamed to say I haven't even had a chance to see half of these, though. They're not even in theaters yet, but I can't wait to see them.
Well, real quick, Steve, I want to make one point. A lot of times, and this happens, it almost happens like every year. The one category that you get where people don't see the performances is Best Actress, because sometimes they'll bring Best Actress performances out of nowhere, and people are like, "Who the heck are these movies?" Like you said, you brought up Still Alice and 2 Days, One Night for Miriam Cotillard and Julianne Moore. These movies haven't come out yet, and they were only released in limited release in New York and LA and Dallas and Chicago. So that's why people haven't seen them, and that's why sometimes the Oscars will do this. They will put these movies, these performances, as Oscar nominations because they saw them, even though nobody else saw them. And it always seems to happen with Best Actress or Best Supporting Actress. The male categories, more often than not, people have seen the performances. All right, Cahal, go ahead.
I wanted to say that I think Liam's really underrated Felicity Jones. I think she's really probably the second. She's good in that the Theory of Everything. I mean, I think the movie was average, but it had two really good performances in it that really elevated it. That's what I find.
I
And
liked
I think. What's
didn't
that?
like anyone else. I only liked Eddie Redmayne. I didn't like anyone else. I've got an unpopular opinion.
Oh, that's all right. I think Julianne Moore's probably got this one anyway, but who knows? I mean, she's got all the heat going into it. It's good to see Marion Cotillard get nominated. She had a good year, I think. I haven't seen the film, but I will look forward to it. And then she's good in The Immigrant, which is an underrated movie, I think, as well. That was a good one. Rosamund Pike is probably a real outside chance, but it was a bit of a stretch for her to see us do something else there. Reese Witherspoon's always been pretty solid as well. I've always liked her since Election and, Walk the Line and even Pleasantville. Yeah. Who else have I not mentioned? Oh, that's everybody. Yeah, I think if there's an upset here, it'd probably be like Felicity Jones because she seems to be the, or maybe Reese Witherspoon, one of them. But I think Julianne Moore's got this one.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And the other thing about Julianne Moore is we have 3 movies coming out in the next month and a half that she's in. She's in Maps to the Stars, Seventh Son, and Still Alice. So she's going to be doing the whole talk show routine, going to all these talk shows and talking to people. And, of course, what's going to keep coming up? Oscar. Her Oscar.
I mean, Seventh Son will come up. That's a big Oscar movie.
Say what?
Seventh Son, that's what's going to be the big talk.
No, get out of here, Liam. Well, Maps to the Stars got her a Golden Globe nomination, but she didn't get a Golden Globe Oscar nomination for Maps to the Stars. But that movie and Seventh Son and Still Alice are all coming out in the next month. So she's going to be on a lot of people's subconscious. So I think she's going to get a lot of support from the average American person and Australian person and people around the world kind of rooting for her because she really is a great actress. All right, now we're going to go to Best Supporting Actor, and I think this is another category that really hit the nail on the head here. You got Robert Duvall in The Judge, Ethan Hawke in Boyhood, Edward Norton in Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance, Mark Ruffalo, Boxcatcher, J.K. Simmons, Whiplash. This is another category that you can hardly find any flaws in this category, and of course I've been saying it for weeks, months. You guys have heard me say it on various social media platforms. J.K. Simmons was the closest thing to a lock in all of the Oscar nominations, in my opinion, and he gives a phenomenal performance in Whiplash. And I'm glad to see Whiplash itself got a nomination for Best Picture as well. I think they go hand in hand. Whiplash doesn't get the Oscar nomination for Best Picture if it's not for J.K. Simmons' performance along with Miles Teller. And so J.K. Simmons, he's going to be a lock. He's the closest thing to a lock. He's going to win it all. Liam, go ahead. What do you think?
Well, J.K. Simmons is a lock. If he doesn't win, I don't know if I have any faith in the Academy, man. He deserves it. He's the only one. This is probably my favorite out of the bunch because these are all perfect. Don't see anything wrong with any of these nominations. But yeah, J.K. has to win. I mean, if he doesn't win, I just don't understand why. What's going on? But Robert Duvall, I don't know. The judge, I haven't seen it. I heard mixed things about it. He was probably really good in it because it's Duvall. He's always going to bring his A game. He's been around for a long time as well, so always just giving them those nominations. Just appreciate their work and stuff. Ethan Hawke was fantastic in Boyhood. I really liked him a lot. Edward, I saw Birdman last week. I thought he was he's probably my second choice for Best Supporting Actor. Edward Norton in Birdman. And Mark, I haven't seen Foxcatcher yet, so I can't judge Mark Ruffalo's performance. But I've heard he's fantastic, and it's Mark Ruffalo who's a great actor, so wouldn't be surprised if he's a fan. He's great as well. This is definitely the most, in my opinion, the most the best performances of the year I've seen here, all in supporting. The most strongest for acting, in my opinion, is probably the supporting. It's just me personally, but yeah.
I think it's a very solid list. Yeah, I love all of these actors. I love all these performances. And again, the one I haven't seen is Foxcatcher, but knowing backstory of Dave Schultz, that's gotta be a tough road to fight. So if he really nailed it, I couldn't be too mad. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm with Liam. It will hurt my feelings if J.K. Simmons doesn't. As much as I love these other guys and I think they deserve to be there, I will be really upset if probably doesn't.
Cutting out a bit, Steve.
J.K. Simmons, I will be upset if he doesn't win Best Supporting Actor. That's about all I can say.
I think he's the one winner for Whiplash probably. Maybe they'll pick up editing, but I think he's got to be a lock now. He was clearly the best for me in my eyes. I mean, I like Edward Norton as well, but it's got to be J.K. I mean, it was like J. Jonah Jameson times a billion. Just like insult. Just so good. That movie was so tight. The pace of that thing was like 100 minutes. Just a perfect movie in my eyes. I don't think Robert Duvall was good in The Judge, but I think maybe you take him out and put in Steve Carell as a supporting. He should have campaigned as supporting. I mean, he's got his Best Actor nomination, but I don't think that was the right thing. I think J.K. Simmons probably has more screen time than Steve Carell has in Foxcatcher, if you think about it. Yeah. I think Ethan Hawke's a good one as well. I think Patricia Arquette we'll get to that later. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I mean, I think you make a good point about Steve Carell and Mark Ruffalo. I mean, I think maybe if you really had a nitpick and say somebody deserved to get in and somebody didn't get in, I'd say Channing Tatum. I think it's his best performance of his entire career. And
absolutely.
He transcends that character. So if you say someone's got a full slate of acting and they've been in the entire movie and they shouldn't be in it, yeah. I mean, J.K. Simmons is going to be the lock. Robert Duvall, let me tell you, I've seen every performance that's been nominated, guys, except for Miriam Cotillard and Julianne Moore. And I think everybody, even though I have a couple quips with some of the people that did get nominated over other people, I have no problems with the people getting nominated. Everybody except for Meryl Streep in the next category, in my opinion, is the one person that doesn't deserve to be nominated. And she's my favorite actress of all time. I'm bad mouthing.
Save it till this.
I am. I'm talking about it right now. I'm talking about Meryl Streep, and she's my favorite actress of all time. I absolutely love Meryl Streep. I was so upset a few years ago when she didn't get nominated. She didn't win the Oscar for Julie and Julia, and Sandra Bullock won for the Blind Side. The Blind Side. How does Sandra Bullock beat out that performance? I mean, so, but I seriously believe Meryl Streep was not good. If you're going to nominate somebody from Into the Woods, it should have been Emily Blunt. I think Meryl Streep stole Emily Blunt's nomination. But that being said, I think it's a lock. I mean, Patricia Arquette is the lifeblood of Boyhood. She is the lifeblood. If she doesn't give the performance she gives, I think the whole experiment of 12 years of filming and the actors that weren't actors and the kids, all that just goes into the toilet. But you have to believe that Patricia Arquette is struggling as a mother with alcoholic, abusive husbands and all that stuff. And I think that's why Patricia Arquette is going to win Best Supporting Actress. And it's an award that she deserves. Last Monday night we talked about Ed Wood. Steve and I did. She was fantastic in Ed Wood, and she's been a very good actress for 20 years now, just not been in a lot of things. And so this is a, more or less, you say Michael Keaton is a Life Achievement Award. I think you can also give this Oscar as a Life Achievement Award for Patricia Arquette as well. Who's got thoughts on the Best Supporting Actress race? Liam?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the list. The most surprising to me is Laura Dern for Wild. I had her originally on my Golden Derby predictions, and everyone wasn't really talking to her about her performance. I just took it off, so now I just feel like I'm slapping myself in the face. I mean, she's been just around for a long time as well, so it's good to see her being. I don't think she's been nominated for an Oscar before, if I'm not mistaken. So, she's been in a lot of David Lynch movies stuff and Jurassic Park, so it's good to see she's finally getting nominated for something. Yeah. Emma Stone, yeah, she was great in Birdman. Can't really say anything bad about her. But Meryl Streep, I haven't seen Into the Woods, but based off the one clip I saw of it, I'm like, this is really an Oscar-worthy performance. She looks kind of like she's really overacting in it. But like I said, yes, Streep's a great actor, so I don't know. Maybe I haven't seen Into the Woods, so I can't really judge. I think Patricia Arquette is a lock for Boyhood. She was fantastic in it. And she seemed like the most passionate out of all the actors involved in it. If you see her in interviews and stuff, she was the one who seemed like she was rallying behind it the most. So it's good to see that 12 years of working on this movie paid off, because you guys are right. She's been in a lot of stuff. I don't think she's never really gotten the credit she deserves. So it's great to see she'll win an Oscar, and hopefully she'll be in a lot more after her win. So can't really disagree with this category.
I think the Oscars are becoming a parody of themselves nominating Meryl Streep. How in the hell does Meryl Streep get over Chastain for Interstellar? I mean, this is just ridiculous. I can sit here and bash it all day. Emma Stone, who doesn't love Emma Stone? To me, I didn't really walk away from that movie carrying anything from her role. Even though she was great in it, I just felt like she was too small part. Keira Knightley, she was good. Wasn't nothing spectacular. I agree with Dan. I'm going to have to say Patricia Arquette with Boyhood was the most amazing performance I've seen out of supporting actress.
Yeah, I think Patricia Arquette has it locked down, but Emma Stone's probably the other one that could really pull an upset there. But I think Patricia Arquette has a one. It's good to see Laura Dern get nominated right after last year, where her dad get nominated for Nebraska. That's pretty good about it. I think is that their first nominations, both of them, last year and this year. So Bruce Dern's had a long career. I mean, he's had a.
I think he was nominated for Coming Home.
Oh, Coming Home, yeah, with John Voight. Yeah, you're probably right.
And
you're good with them, Liam.
Laura Dern won an Oscar.
Wait, she
what
won an
was it?
Oscar?
Yeah, in the early '90s for something. I can't remember.
Really? I don't think she did, man.
Huh? Young at Heart? Wasn't Young at Heart, was it?
Yeah, Nicolas Cage, yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, Keira Knightley. She was good in the Imitation Game. They're all pretty good. I haven't seen Into the Woods as well, or Wild, but I think Patricia Arquette has it. I've only really seen Imitation Game, Birdman, and Boyhood, so I can't really comment on those. But Meryl Streep, like you said, Dan, is my favorite actress as well. But even I just nod my head and just say sometimes, come on, what's going on? It's just too much. Like, I mean, I thought she was brilliant in like Doubt as well. The was it 2008, whenever that came out? Really good movie. But there's some you go, what the hell?
Yeah, she's gonna get nominated if she's in a movie. She's an automatic nom.
That's true.
I don't even think Into the Woods is that good of a movie. And how do you nominate her? You know, and
Didn't even get nominated for Best Picture, at least.
I would have really been pissed if that happened.
They love Streep. They'll give her anything. Looks it. It's
She's
true.
like Susan Lucci of daytime television. Liam and Cahal, you guys might not know her, but she's a daytime television soap opera star. She was nominated something like 17 times before she ever won a daytime Emmy Award. It was like this running joke. Susan Lucci's going to get nominated, and she's not going to win. But she finally won, like, the 18th time she was nominated. But,
Hey, can I just quickly readdress something? Laura Dern was nominated for an Oscar for Randomly Roast. She didn't win.
Oh,
I haven't seen that. Robert Duvall and Diane. Yes, just saying.
all right. Well, you're all right then. I stand corrected. I
I just want to get correct. I just Googled it just to make sure.
Yeah, I thought I would. Go ahead, Steve.
There's a category you might skip out that I want to talk about real quick. It's
Okay.
best editing. Why is Birdman not on this list for best editing? It looked like, the movie looked like it was all in one take.
You're right. Well,
There was no cuts, that's why.
Steve, because I'm a film fan and I watch movies very, very closely. I could see a couple of the times where they cut, but I 100% understand why don't you put Birdman in there for editing? I mean, that was some of the best editing I've seen in film all year long. I mean, how does that get snubbed? That is one of the probably most glaring snubs in the entire thing for best editing. I absolutely 100% agree with you on that.
Yeah, why the hell is the Imitation Game there? You didn't really come out of the Imitation Game going, wow, that was amazing editing.
Well,
Like, what the
the stock
Damn
footage,
it.
I think it's because of
Structure of
the
it.
stock footage of World War II, Liam, that they put Imitation Game there. They really did a nice job of cutting from the whole Benedict Cumberbatch, Matthew Good, and those guys talking and trying to work out the Enigma code, and then cutting to the stock footage of World War II and making it look like World War II was going on in between this was going on. So, I mean, I'm just giving that as an idea.
But anyone can do that. It's not. I'm not bashing Imitation Game. It's a great movie, but like anyone can edit the war scenes into it. Birdman was one long take.
You're right.
That's really hard to do. I know you agree with me, man. I know you're saying Birdman should get nominated. I'm just saying. I just think it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just the voters are like, the voters probably didn't even know what the category was. They just ticked the movie they liked the most.
All right, now we're going to go on to.
Can I just add something there?
Yeah.
So, Whiplash for best editing, it's phenomenal. I've seen that movie 3 times. It's so tight. It's perfect. The end sequence. They cut to like some instruments, some cheap music, the face, some movie. Oh, it's brilliant, man.
You know, you make a good point about when they were cutting to the instruments, Cahal. They really concentrated on where the drumming and whatnot. Who even knows if that was Miles Teller drumming? It could have been somebody completely different drumming. But that's how the editing works: is they'll catch somebody's hand drumming, and it could have been Dave Grohl, for all we know, could have been drumming. You know, we don't know. You know, but you're right about the editing about Whiplash. That was kind of cool how they did that.
Just want to say that Nightcrawler was another one for editing as well. I think, I think it just with the cinematography and the night time, the nightscape of it all, and it was like just that was pretty tight as well. But I had to give it to Whiplash. That was perfect for me.
Yeah, well, I think Nightcrawler. Not to change subject here, but I think Nightcrawler, the biggest snub for Nightcrawler, in my opinion, is Jake Gyllenhaal, and then it not even getting nominated for Best Picture. I mean, I think Nightcrawler. I mean, if you think about the whole idea of all the Oscar nominations, Nightcrawler was probably the biggest loser of this.
And what about Rene Russo? Forgot about her. I mean,
Yeah,
she could have easily been nominated. That was a really
Take
good
Streep
performance.
out of there, man. Put
Yeah,
Rene Russo.
absolutely.
yep. Take Meryl Streep out of there. Put Renee. I mean, I think Nightcrawler was the biggest loser of this entire thing, along with Selma. I know Steve's going to disagree about that. But,
Interstellar too. I mean, I know that's a blockbuster, but a lot of people really want this film to be represented in the Oscars.
yeah, you're right about that, Steve. All right, we're going to move on to Best Animated Feature, and I know a lot of you guys are going to have something to say about this. We've got Big Hero 6, Box Trolls, How to Train Your Dragon 2, Song of the Sea, and Tale of the Princess Kaguya. I have to say, I think this category is missing at least 2 movies that should have been nominated. I think you need to take out Box Trolls, and you need to put in either The Book of Life or Lego Movie. And I don't think half of this country saw Song of the Sea or Princess Kaguya, so I know a lot of folks would want Lego Movie. I wasn't a fan of Lego Movie. I'm not, don't jump down my throat here, guys. I wasn't a fan of it.
Hold on, I'm taking you off my friends list.
Yeah. But I think I want to know what you guys have to think. I think easily the winner is going to be Big Hero 6 or How to Train Your Dragon 2. I would be happy with either one of those.
And that was amazing stop motion. It might not have been the best film, but I thought it was beautiful.
Oh, I agree. The stop motion in Box Trolls is good, but when the story in the movie isn't that good, how do you nominate for Best Animated Feature if 2 of the main aspects of a movie are story and whatnot? The story of the movie and the characters are kind of, there's some goofy stuff going on in that I think it just turned me off. And that's why I didn't like Box Trolls as much as you did, Steve. But I think Book of Life was 100 times better than Box Trolls. I don't know why that doesn't get nominated, but I think we've heard people talk about like Princess Kaguya and Song of the Sea. They're more foreign films that people overseas have seen. I didn't even see anything about those films over here. I know one of them ended up being on demand, and I didn't watch it. So, Liam, go ahead. I've been ranting on too long.
Well, I don't mind the anime getting nominated because that's like because to be honest, anime is doing probably better than American animation in my opinion. When it comes to quality and content, personally, so I'm happy that like the Academy can appreciate something like that, not just always go with movies. I haven't seen The Book of Life because it hasn't came out in Australia, and I think that's the main problem. It hasn't been nominated. I don't think it was campaigning for any rewards, or I don't think the studio had a lot of faith in it. Because it's not even out in Australia until March, and you guys got it back in like October, didn't you? So no, that's a really weird sign. I just didn't really know what to do with it. That's what I think. I don't know if it's a good movie or not. Like I said, I haven't seen it. It could be good. I mean, it's Guillermo del Toro movie. So, we're producing movie, so it could be good. Lego was snubbed, but I think they kind of acknowledged that by putting it in the best original song category. Everything is awesome, which I wouldn't be surprised that wins, to be honest, because that's really a good song, to be honest. And maybe that's their way of pretty much saying, look, we didn't really get the Lego movie into best animated, but here's everything is awesome. So I think that's what it is. I think Big Hero 6 is the one I'd pick to win out of them all. Personally, I love that movie so much. I only saw it recently, but yeah, I'm in the minority about this. I don't really like How to Train Dragon 2, so that's probably the one that's going to win. Oh, thank you. I thought it's had a lot of problems. Yeah, I thought it was good, but I think it's better compared to the first one. I thought the first one was a lot better.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I'd pick, I'd go Big Hero 6, but I think How to Train Your Dragon 2, or even the Tale of Princess the Japanese, the anime. I think that's got the biggest shot of winning
Mm.
because they're,
Yeah,
they're just the
I think you're right. You make a very good point, Liam. I think the Tale of Princess Rukia might actually be the best movie of the bunch of them. Problem is, hardly anybody saw it, and except for somebody that we will not name, it's like she who will not be named has seen it, and she is raving about this movie. But other than that, I don't think nobody else saw the movie. Okay, Liam, you got anything else, or we're going to go on to Steve?
No, it's cool. I was just saying, yeah, I think overall it's pretty solid. Just, yeah, disappointing Lego didn't get nominated, and How to Train Your Dragon's probably going to win. That's the only my price, but overall it's pretty good.
Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Lego Movie is a lot of people's favorite movie of the year. It's kind of ridiculous it didn't get nominated. I obviously like Box Trolls. I liked Big Hero 6. I liked How to Train Your Dragon 2. Not really that invested, though, in this category. With the Lego Movie not being in it, and Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods not being in it, I can care less.
But you must admit, Dragon Ball Z wasn't like a major release movie.
It doesn't matter.
Like, I love that movie. I love that movie as well. It's probably my favorite.
Best film ever. Hey guys, I gotta get ready for work. Rachel's fixing to come in and talk, but I'll talk to you guys later. It's been fun.
All right.
Okay.
See you, Steve.
No worries, take it easy, Steve. Okay.
Well, when Steve leaves, we're going to get Rachel, but in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to move on to some of these other
Can
characters.
I just say something about animated?
Oh, wait.
Sorry.
You didn't even have your
Cut
chance.
me off, man.
Dark.
Yeah, I sort of expected the Tale of Princess Kaguya to be nominated. Like, I heard a lot about that, and the Japanese films always sort of like pop in the Studio Ghibli ones and Miyazaki films, like Howl's Moving Castle, Spirited Away, what was the other one? Wind Rises a few years ago. Was it last year? Yeah, they always sort of pop up in there, and I'm really shocked that Lego Movie was completely shafted in that. I'm really shocked. I mean, I liked it more than How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Yeah.
I think Big Hero 6 could pull an upset, though, as well.
No, I'm right with you. I mean, I didn't like Lego like a sick hole, but I understand how many people did like that movie and how popular the song was and how much money that movie made. And I think the Oscar voters, I think, just completely missed the boat on that one. I mean, Box Trolls wasn't nearly as good a movie overall as Lego, in a lot of people's opinion, and especially mine. I didn't even like Lego, but I hated Box Trolls. So like, how the heck does Box Trolls get in there over Lego? You know, or even Book of Life. You know what I mean? Book of Life is really good as well. Well, we lost a friend of ours, Steve Zissou, and we gained a friend of ours, Rachel Cushing. Hello, Rachel. Good morning to you. We are on the East Coast. I know you're on the West Coast. We got Liam and Cahal from Australia, so we've been represented all over the country and the world this morning.
Almost 2 a.m.
Good Lord, I just woke up.
Well, Rachel, I'm gonna let you go and talk about some of these categories that we already talked about, and if you want, since you didn't have an opportunity, we started off with Best Picture, and then Best Actor, then Best Actress, and then Best Supporting Actress, and then Best Supporting Actor. So if you have anything you want to chime in on some of those categories, please do so. We'll just sit here and listen to you.
I don't have to rehash stuff that you guys already been there. I'm still digesting it. Like I said, I've been up for all of 20 minutes. I guess my biggest disappointments are just the Selma snubs. David Oyelowo, I can't even fathom that he's not nominated. I mean, I liked Bradley Cooper. I actually really liked Bradley Cooper in American Sniper, but I just don't think that role is as good as the other ones in the category. And I would even have taken Jake Gyllenhaal over him. But, like I said, I'm still kind of asleep. The other acting stuff. Oh, I was thrilled. The one good surprise was Laura Dern for Wild. I was absolutely thrilled about that.
I said the exact same thing. I was happy about that as well.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the camp of I love Meryl Streep. She's amazing. But I wish that Jessica Chastain for A Most Violent Year had taken the 5th spot. Most people were saying she would be in, but Laura Dern took that spot. But that was the one really good surprise of everything that I saw this morning. So the other stuff mostly stacked up, I think, the way that we thought. Best Actress, Jennifer Aniston didn't get it, but Marianne Cotillard's always amazing. So I don't hate that. I haven't seen Cake, so I'm not really sure. But yeah, we can keep moving on. I don't have to rehash stuff that you guys have already covered.
Well, there's one big category that I really want to get your opinion on, and that's Best Picture. I talked to these guys about Best Picture, and I think Foxcatcher and Nightcrawler were the two. All of us on the panel pretty much agreed that there should have been 10 nominees this year. Of all the years that they should have done 10 nominees, Rachel, I believe that this year was the year that deserved 10 nominees, and I think Nightcrawler and Foxcatcher didn't get nominated for Best Picture. I mean, I think that was a travesty, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. It should have been 10 nominees for sure. I actually, and this would be something somewhat controversial, would have put either Interstellar or Gone Girl ahead of Foxcatcher. While I think that is an incredibly tonally interesting movie, it didn't actually sit with me that well, and it wasn't one that stuck with me in any way. The performances did, but the movie didn't. Whereas some other movies, I think, did. And I'm the first to admit, I think Nightcrawler is an amazing movie. I have no interest of ever seeing it again because it just creeped me out, and I couldn't find the dark humor in it because I just thought it was a terrible story, and I disliked that it gets away with it in the end. But Jake Gyllenhaal is magnificent in it, as are the supporting roles, and the look of that movie is incredible. But yeah, in terms of there should have been 10, absolutely.
Yeah, and to make a good point, too, I'm right there with you about Gone Girl or Interstellar. I wasn't a fan of Gone Girl, but I know a lot of people love that movie. And if you're going to add 10, if you're going to have a possibility of 10, why not a movie that so many people love? And I absolutely loved Interstellar. It made my top 5 movies of the year. I cannot say enough about how much I loved Interstellar. All right, now we're going to go down the list. We're on Best Director now, Rachel. So you are technically you're up first on Best Director because you replaced Liam, but we're going to go with Liam because we've been going with Liam. And so, Liam, what are your thoughts on the Best Director category? We got Birdman, Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu, Boyhood, Richard Linklater, Foxcatcher, Bennett Miller, Grand Budapest Hotel, Wes Anderson, and Morton Tatum for Imitation Game. I'll be honest with you. If you're not going to nominate Foxcatcher for Best Picture, then why nominate Bennett Miller for Best Director? I mean, why not nominate somebody like Damien Chazelle or one of the other nominees for Best Picture instead of Bennett Miller? I mean, it doesn't make sense. How does Bennett Miller get in there and Damien Chazelle doesn't get in there?
You know what? You know what I think? I think that's their way of saying, sorry, we're not going to be able to give you a Best Picture nom, but we'll give you a Best Director nomination to pay for that. That's what I think about Lego. They're going to give everything as awesome a nomination and not give the anime. That's how they work.
Yeah.
That's what I've always thought. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, John Legend. I mean, I think John Legend and Common's song from Selma is the best song of the year. But you make a very good, valid point, Liam. It could end up pulling off the win for Best Song. But what are your thoughts on Best Director other than what I just said?
Yeah, I'm happy Wes Anderson's there again. Yeah, maybe not for that movie, but it's just I love Wes Anderson so much, so it's great to see him there. I think Alexandro. I'm not going to pronounce his name, man. I think he's probably my pick for Birdman or Richard Linklater or him. It's just I mean, I know a lot of people said this. It's just Boyhood is the 12-year shoot, while Birdman was like a couple of weeks, wasn't it, or something? So
Yeah.
That's pretty. It's crazy. Just amazing. Those two films definitely.
And real quick, I looked at the best picture. If you don't give it to Damien Chazelle, why not Ava DuVernay for Selma? I mean.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So okay, Carl, go ahead.
Oh no, I still had stuff to say.
Oh, all right.
Sorry. If I had to take out one, I love The Imitation Game so much. It is a movie. I wouldn't really put the director. Like, I thought he did a good job. I thought it was more Benedict Cumberbatch's movie than anything else, to be honest. I'd maybe put in the director of Selma, whose name it's really tight. I'm not thinking 100% right now, but I thought that would have been a better pick because I thought that movie was, in my opinion, better than The Imitation Game. It's crazy someone could bring that story to life about Martin Luther King, and it's just a really important story. Both are important stories currently. I'm happy with most of them. I think it's just going to be. I think Richard Linklater is going to win now. When I think about it, I think Birdman will win screenplay, and Richard Linklater will win Boyhood. Good. Yeah, that's what I was to say.
Okay. Well, I agree with Liam. I think it's going to be Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu versus Richard Linklater for the prize here. But I can't believe Bennett Miller got in there. I mean, I loved Moneyball and Capote, but Foxcatcher was good. But I think Damien Chazelle should have been nominated for this. I mean, the British Academy gave him a nomination, but it didn't nominate Whiplash for Best Picture. But they appreciated him. He wrote the screenplay as well, and it's just one of the tightest movies you'll see, like, for editing and some of the best performances in a long while. Just it flies along, and it's one of the best movies I've seen in the last 5 years or so. I think I like Wes Anderson getting in there because can't go past Wes Anderson. But I like Dan said about Ava DuVernay for Selma. I think she probably should have got in there at the expense of was it Morton Talden? I don't know how to pronounce his name. I really loved Imitation Game, but I think you could probably change it around there. Put Damien Chazelle and Ava DuVernay in there because I think they're better films. That's all I have to say. Anyone else?
Rachel.
You guys have said most of it. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous that Ava DuVernay and Damien Chazelle are not nominated. Like, it just makes me so mad because I'm the first one to admit that The Imitation Game is one of my top 10 films. I loved it, but it's not anything new or different. The Morton Talden is very interesting. I think he's got a lot of interesting ideas in him eventually, but that was a very straightforward done movie. He did not add any flair or interesting ideas or new ideas to it. And I mean, I would take James Marsh over him, who did The Theory of Everything, because at least he had some more interesting transition ideas and shot ideas. But I don't understand. That seems to me like old school, old man voting, traditional Academy voting, getting him in there over. I mean, they could have made history with Ava DuVernay's nomination. And like Carl said, Whiplash is one of my favorite movies in the last 5 years, hands down. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that movie in any way. And Damien Chazelle is the leader of all that. So I'm not happy. It was always going to come down to Inarritu and Linklater. I still don't know for sure which one will win, although Linklater seems to have the edge at the moment. And nominating Anderson, it sort of does feel like it's a body of work nomination and not just Grand Budapest Hotel, which I'm fine with. But Miller doesn't belong there, and Talden doesn't belong there. They just don't.
I think that the nomination for Selma around Whiplash was the kind of like that's what I've always think about it. I don't know if this is just me thinking it. It's like just sorry we couldn't get you a director's nomination, but we'll give you a movie a Best Picture nomination to make up for that. That's what I've always. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not. I just think that's a bit weird how Selma and Whiplash get nominated for Best Picture and not Best Director or anything like that. I don't know.
Well,
If I sound like an idiot,
no,
just tell me.
it's certainly possible given the new era of Best Picture nominees being up to 10. And that's been going on for 4 years now, 3 or 4
After
years.
The Dark Knight changed the game.
Yeah, and it opened up the field to sort of give these other movies that sort of Sorry nomination, if you will, Liam. So I do kind of agree with you in that respect. I also think Academy often does, well, you're really young, so we're not going to give you a nomination this time because we suspect that you're going to do other nomination-worthy things later. And both Ava DuVernay and Damien Chazelle, I think, are under 30. If she might not be, she might be just over 30. But they both hopefully have more masterpieces in them and will get chances to be nominated later. You see that in the acting categories sometimes too. But it, for me, it's not so much that they weren't nominated as that the people that were nominated in their place did not do a better job, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Rachel. All right, now I'm going to just bring up a couple things on a couple other categories that kind of bothered me. First of all, I saw only 3 documentaries this year, and only one of the 3 that I saw was nominated for Best Documentary. So now I'm hoping that Citizen 4 wins Best Documentary because it was a phenomenal documentary. But I think one of the biggest, you could put with the Jake Gyllenhaal Nightcrawler, Selma, Ava DuVernay, Lego Movie. I think you could put Life Itself as one of the top snubs in this whole thing. I think Life Itself. I think as if you want to give honorary Oscars to people or honorary nominations to people, whatever you call it, you should have did it for Life Itself. This movie was clearly one of the best documentaries of the year, and it was my favorite documentary of the year. So I'm very, very upset about Life Itself not getting nominated for Best Documentary. And Force Majeure for Best Foreign Film. What the heck is going on there? Force Majeure, I mean, obviously I haven't seen a lot of foreign films, so I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, why aren't this great foreign film nominated? But Force Majeure, how can you not nominate that for Best Foreign Film? I don't know what the heck is going on there. So if going down the line, if there's anything in those categories or any other categories you want to bring up right now in editing or cinematography or screenplay or whatever, feel free to do it. We'll start with Liam.
I just want to talk about the Life Itself. I think that's the biggest snub of the whole entire Academy Award. I mean, that was my top 10 movies of the year. That movie and considering it's the Academy about movies, that documentary is pretty much just about the most influential film critic of all time. I mean, Roger Ebert was amazing for what maybe you don't agree with his opinions all the time, but what he did to movies, he did a lot. I don't think the Academy are giving enough appreciation for what he did. And I'm just so shocked it wasn't nominated for Best Documentary. Yeah, that's what it was. I just think that's a travesty. I mean, it could have been just a great tribute to Roger Ebert's life, because we now know, yeah, he's passed away. But yeah, I thought that was ridiculous, personally. And also, Inherent Vice being nominated for Best Screenplay, that kind of surprised me, because I know a lot of people are mixed on that movie. Like, people really love that movie or people really hate it. So just seeing the Academy giving it a nomination, like, I don't know how a lot of people are going to react to that. Like, I know the schmoes like Christian, Mark, JT, they're not the big fan of that movie. So, and people like George McCann, they're big fans of the movie. So if it's going to be really split, that's going to split a lot of people, that nomination. So they were definitely the 2 biggest shockers that I can think of these categories.
Let's stick with documentary. I think the only ones I've heard of are Citizen 4 and Finding Vivian Mayer. The rest I haven't heard of, but I hear that Citizen 4 is pretty much winning everything out there. Is that correct? You guys know? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's certainly the most well known.
Yeah. The other one's what about like a photographer, Vivian Mayer, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They're the only 2 I've heard of. Yeah. So I really couldn't really add too much to that. Yeah, that's all I can think of at the moment. I wanted to mention cinematography, if we could. The cinematographer for Interstellar did not get nominated, and he's been nominated for everything. Was it Van Hoytema? I don't know how you say his name, but he was like pretty much nominated for like everywhere, and now he's snubbed. I thought that's one of the strongest parts of the film, the cinematography.
I'm right with you.
Yeah, there seemed to have been like a general snubbing of Interstellar across the board. I just think that the reviews ended up doing it in, and people were afraid to admit that they liked it, which I think is sad. And just to back up to documentary a little bit, Finding Vivian Mayer's incredible. I think that's going to gain some momentum soon because Citizen 4 is a little how do you say it, controversial because of Edward Snowden, and a lot of conservative voters aren't going to vote for it just because they're conservative. And Bunga, I don't think it's going to get a lot of play, but it's actually the kind of documentary that usually wins because it's about this national park in Africa and these ex-child soldiers who become rangers and are trying to save this wild preserve and the gorillas that live there. So like it makes me think of like a March of Penguins kind of documentary, and it's really good. And I've heard Last Days in Vietnam is really good, but I haven't seen it yet. And unfortunately, the only foreign film I've seen is Ida, which is wonderful, but I can't really comment on the other ones. But yeah, Call, you're right. The cinematography. I actually think that they'll probably give it to. My brain's not working. Roger Deakins, because he hasn't won yet, and that's ridiculous. And Unbroken is not going to win anything besides that if it wins anything. So that's my guess. But yeah, Interstellar was just snubbed.
Yeah, I think Emmanuel Lubezki for Birdman's probably got it one, I think, for cinematography. Yeah. Oh, I know. I liked Robert Elswit for Nightcrawler, but he didn't get nominated. Yeah, sorry, Liam.
No, I'm not the biggest fan of Interstellar. I don't want to come. I liked it. I definitely think it deserves cinematography. I thought it was amazing. That was probably the best part. Like those space scenes, man, they were incredible. They were the highlights of the movie. Those scenes into space with them flying, very much 2001, like, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. So, like, I think it deserved nomination cinematography. I mean, I don't have what the cinematography nominees were, but like, I don't know if Mr. Turner had amazing cinematography.
Oh yeah, it did. Believe me, he deserved it because the movie is just. It's about a painter, and so they used his paintings as these like transitions, and I mean, almost as like still images. They're some of the most beautiful shots I've seen all year. It's a weird movie. I don't necessarily know that I recommend it. It's long and it feels long, but Timothy Spall's really good in it. But believe me, Dick Pope deserves that nomination.
All right. Yeah, it's playing my theater.
Yeah, well, Mike Lee's more known as like a actor's director, though. I wouldn't really think of him as like a visual director, but I haven't seen the film yet, so that's kind of interesting to me.
He was actually at the screening that I went to, and he did a Q&A afterwards, and he's like this crazy old man, like really sweet, but then would like break out into these tangents that were hysterical. But yeah, he trains with his actors for like 6 months. He doesn't have a script. He has an idea. And because this movie was based on an actual person, they had maybe more set pieces than he normally does for his movies that he wanted to do. But they spend 6 months working through what they're going to do, and then they start shooting. So the whole design process is they're figuring it out as they're going through these actor boot camp type things, and then they shoot the whole thing. And he had tons of stories about how they almost lucked into half of those sunset shots where they're not even color corrected, but just where they were shooting and whatnot, that they turned out that amazing.
That's awesome.
The Oscars love that guy as well. He's got like 8 nominations. So
really? Well, yeah, Secrets and Lies, I think, was the one that really, I think that was him, wasn't it? Yeah. It really put him on Oscar map, I think.
All right.
Yeah, he did Vera Drake as well, I think. Yeah.
All right. Well, one or two more categories I just want to see if anybody wants to touch on, and then we're going to give a just end of the show kind of speech. Everybody can say whatever they want, good or bad or whatever. Music and score, anything that you can think of. Songs. I was thinking about the song from Selma from John Legend and Common. I think that I thought it got nominated, and it ended up being another song from Selma. I think that's a pretty big snub. I mean, of all the songs I've heard this year and all the movies that I've seen over 170 movies, that was the one song in a movie that really resonated with me, the song from John Legend and Common and Selma. And score, you know, I like the score from I think Interstellar, but of course, you know, we've been talking about Interstellar. I think Hans Zimmer got nominated for original score, so that was the one score, and also Theory of Everything, Johan Johansson. Those are the two scores that I remember that resonated with me. But we have Alexandre Desplat is get 2 nominations for Imitation
Yeah, that's awesome.
in Budapest Hotel. So it seems like maybe they're going to give it to one. That'd be sad. You get 2 nominations, you don't win either one of them. But definitely Hans Zimmer and Johan Johansson are the two that, in my opinion, that were the best. If anybody has anything to say about original song or original score, please. We'll start with Liam.
Well, I've said Everything Is Awesome is probably going to win Best Song. That's my bet.
Fine.
I think that's going to win. I thought, I'm not a big fan of the Theory of Everything, but I thought the score was great. That'd be one to pick out of those. I think that's probably the best one out of the bunch, in my opinion. Maybe Grand Budapest Hotel, because Wes Anderson's always had great soundtracks in his movies. Like having Rolling Stones, like doing Dave Bowie stuff. So maybe since he does the score, maybe just because he has great soundtracks. So I think it maybe just good pay homage to his soundtracks maybe. So that's probably I don't really have much to say about those.
What do you
category that much.
Oh, I think I liked Lost Stars from Begin Again. That's a really sort of underrated movie. That's a pretty good one. I think Glory's probably going to be Flying the Flag for Selma, really, that song. Because it probably won't pick up anything. That's going to be really the only thing it will get. And with the original score, I really liked Hans Zimmer's score for Interstellar. And again, Alexander Desplat's one for the Imitation Game was pretty good. I'm going to have to listen to it again, but I remember watching it and really liking it at the time. And last year, he did my favorite score last year was for Philomena. One of the best scores, just really understated for the movie. Just really, just made that movie just heart-wrenching.
Well, I know Rachel's got something to say about score because she's obviously a big fan of this category or scores in general. Because we're going to be doing just to plug Profiles After Show. Our next Profiles After Show is going to be Wes Anderson, but the one after that is going to be John Williams. So stay tuned to the Profiles Facebook page with Malone and Mance, and we're going to be starting 2 brackets. We're going to have a Star Wars bracket, and we're going to have a non-Star Wars bracket. So we're going to want everybody out there to vote in these brackets and have fun and talk and tell us why you love all these John Williams scores. All right, Rachel, with that, the floor is yours.
For Best Song, I completely agree with Cahal. I was so excited to see Lost Stars nominated from Begin Again because I own that soundtrack and I absolutely love the music from that movie and that song in particular. It's actually sung 3 different ways throughout the movie. It's really good and it's just nice to see that nod. I think Glory is going to win. I think Everything Is Awesome is a sort of, kind of like what Liam was saying, here's a nomination to the Lego Movie, but I don't think it's a strong enough song that will actually win. I think there's too many older voters who will go with something that is more sentimental and serious associated with Selma than with Lego Movie, but we'll see. In terms of the scores, Alexander Desplat could be the next John Williams. He doesn't do big bombastic scores, but his understated scores, they're so lyrical and so pretty and so moving, and he actually did 3 scores this year that deserve nominations. Imitation Game is his best. I love it. I own it. I listen to it all the time. His one for Grand Budapest Hotel is great, but he also did Unbroken, and I think the music is one of the best parts of that movie, and I wouldn't have been surprised to see his name up there 3 times.
Didn't he do Godzilla as well? Pretty sure he did Godzilla.
Yes, he did 4 this year.
Wow.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Damn.
He's unbelievably talented. And Hans Zimmer, obviously, I think that it will come down. I do worry that the 2 nods might split the vote for Alexander Desplat, in which case Hans Zimmer would probably win. But I'm not really sure because Johan Johansson won for the Golden Globe. So that seems kind of an open category. And I will say, although I was surprised by Guy Hirschon's nomination for Mr. Turner, I do remember liking the music when I saw it. I'll have to listen to it again. but the three, Hans Zimmer, Desplat, and Johansson, was sort of expecting those. So it was a good year for musical scores, mostly by Alexander Desplat.
All right, so, we're going to do an end of the show roundup here. Liam, is there anything good, bad, or otherwise that you would like to bring up right now? This is your opportunity.
No, I think I'll be fine. I think we've discussed it enough, dude. I'm just tired. Probably gonna go to sleep after this. So
It is pretty early in the morning. Yeah.
Anything, Cahal?
I just want to say, considering Lego Movie was completely overlooked for Best Animated Feature, to put a positive note on it, Phil Lord, one of the directors, someone who retweeted like a picture of him, like, don't worry, I made my own Oscar, and there's like a Lego Oscar. Someone retweeted.
That's awesome.
That was pretty funny.
Got a good sense of humor about it.
Yeah.
Rachel?
That's all I got to say.
I think it was a good list for the most part. I think that the Academy sort of slipped into its old ways in some respects by, nominating things like American Sniper and just sort of showing off their old school instead of going with the new things. Like, I feel like they just refuse to acknowledge something like the Lego Movie as being worthy of nominated because it's funny, and not realizing or recognizing that it's really smart. And I'm sad about the director category most of all, but I just pray that Ava DuVernay and Damien Chazelle have more great movies in them, and that they will prove the Academy wrong. And I think ultimately it's coming down to Boyhood versus Birdman anyway in most of the categories, and it'll be really interesting to see who wins that duel. But both are incredible movies and deserving, so I'm not unhappy about that. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I guess for the most part, pretty good. And again, really excited about Laura Dern. That was my happiest moment when I read the nominees.
Yeah, father and daughter going back to back, like we were saying before. That's pretty interesting. Bruce Dern last year for Nebraska. That's pretty rare. I just wanted to say, sorry, you go ahead, Dan.
No, go ahead, Carl.
I was going to say about visual effects. What do you guys think? Who would win that? I think X-Men's a good chance.
I think you're going to go with
that one sequence.
It's got to be Dawn, right?
For that, yeah.
I guess.
Those are the two.
Or Interstellar.
Yeah, I mean, Interstellar is the obvious choice, and I hope it wins because what else it's going to win at this point? And it deserves to be recognized for the ambition and the achievement. I know there's problems with it, but it still should be recognized. But I mean, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, you can't really compete with the apes, can you?
No.
Fair enough.
Also, the backdrops and some of the flying spaceships and some of the stuff in Guardians of the Galaxy is fantastic as well.
Mm.
So I have one other thing I wanted to talk about. I looked this up. I mean, once again, I'm not bashing on Meryl Streep. I think she's phenomenal. But how about another snub for Selma and Carmen Ejogo as Martin Luther King's wife? I mean, she almost drags this movie along with David Oyelowo, and she's kind of like the conscience of this movie in a lot of ways. And I just feel like they just go off and try to give Meryl Streep so many of these nominations. And like I said, I love Julie and Julie, and I thought she got robbed when Sandra Bullock won that year. But how about Carmen Ejogo not getting a nomination? And they usually give a couple unknowns a chance, Yeah. And this year they really didn't go out on a limb and give any unknowns a nomination. And I think she was probably one of the most obvious unknowns that didn't get a nomination.
Yeah. I really wish they would have nominated Rene Russo. It was a really underrated performance, I think.
Yeah, Rene Russo and Nightcrawler. So I think all the categories, except for probably one or two, you could argue that a couple people could have been in there and a couple people couldn't have been in there. So that's always going to happen with the Oscars. But I just want to thank my panelists. Obviously, Justin Bass, Steve Zissou, he's gone already. So thank you for coming on when you did, Steve. And everybody tell us where you can be found, starting with Liam.
You can find me at Facebook at Liam LeGrandi, Twitter at Mr. LeGrandi. Yeah, pretty much that's where you can find YouTube, but I don't really use my YouTube channel that often. So, yeah, just say that.
You can find me at Carl T. Thomas Coleman at Facebook. It's with a T.
You guys can find me on Facebook and Twitter at Rachel J. Cushing, and then my website, Get Real with Rachel, real with 2 E's, and then also my Facebook page for the website, Get Real with Rachel Movie Reviews.
And you can find me under my name, Dan Skip Allen, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. And you can go to my website, from the fourth row at WordPress.com. Also, I filmed 4 or 5 segments last night for the Best Damn Movie Show with Vinny LaSpada. And I appreciate everybody coming on. Hopefully people watch the show and we gave you enough insights and our problems and our things that we liked and we didn't like about the Oscar nominations today. You can find this show on the Profiles After Show YouTube page. Thank you and goodbye.